Hello, my Irish Football Fan TV. This is the player ratings from Republic of Ireland 0, Wales 0, live from the Uefa Stadium. And I'll start off in goals with Darren Randolph. I'd probably give him a 6. Didn't have a whole lot to do, and when he did it well. Maybe I'll give him a 6.5 for the save from Harry Wilson. But other than that, he wasn't really tested that much. And as I said, done everything he could have possibly done well. So a couple of times his kicking was off, but other than that you couldn't really fault him at all, and I thought he was solid throughout the game, so I'll give Darren a 6. Then Enda Stevens I'd actually give a 7 to. I thought he always looked an option for us. I thought he was actually very high for large periods of the game. He was very, very high, pushing on to the halfway line and into their half, even when we were in a back four. So I feel as though he was always an option for us, and when he was on the ball he was brilliant. I thought he really had a good game today. Matt Doherty as well, I thought he had a good game, and considering he had to go into centre back as well, I thought he had a good game. So I'm going to give him a 7, just purely because he had to go into a different position and trying to adapt to that. So Kevin Long I'm not really going to give a rating to, because he wasn't on the pitch that long. He did well when he was on, but just there's no point in giving him a rating. Shane Duffy 6 as well. He just defended well. He didn't have to do anything spectacular. He won his headers, defended well. He wasn't amazing, he wasn't terrible, so I'll give him a 6. And in the opposition's box he wasn't his usual self, scoring the goals or terrorising them, although he did try his best. But the Welsh defence handled him quite well, so I think giving him a 6 is a fair one. And then in midfield I'm going to give Conor Hourihane a 6.5, because in the first half I didn't think he was that effective, but then kind of was watching what he was doing, and he was playing that deep line midfield role, which is totally different to what he does. Malumbi basically played what Hourihane's midfield role today, and I thought Malumbi showed Hourihane how to do it, and Hourihane actually done James McCarthy's job quite well in terms of sitting in front of the back four and being the person who gets the ball and tries to make things happen from that deep line position. So I thought Hourihane actually had a good game, considering he was getting a lot of abuse there the other night off fans. I actually gave him a poor rating. I gave him a 5, so for me he put that right today, so I give him a 6.5. Jason Malumbi I'm going to give a 8 to. I just thought he was absolutely everywhere. He covered every blade of grass, and just even on the ball, but there was times where he was getting the ball and he could have got the ball back to him. That wasn't his fault. Players just weren't giving him the ball when he needed it, but I felt as though he was the one that was really getting amongst it and really starting to get players into the game as well. I thought he was setting the tempo in the midfield, getting around the pitch, winning tackles, giving the ball off, getting around and giving players more of an option as well. So I would give Jason an 8 and my man of the match. Then Jeff Hendrick I'm going to give a 6 to. Again, he wasn't very effective. He didn't do a whole lot in the game. He had a couple of chances where you look like he was in, and maybe just takes that extra touch, and you just wish that sometimes some things would just come off for him, so people would get off his back a little bit, and obviously for the sake of the nation we would obviously like to see him doing well, because you're thinking maybe late on to the game that Jack Brown maybe could have come on for him, but it is what it is, and he didn't. So Jeff gets a 6 for me, but it's because he had decent spells, but overall he wasn't that effective, so a 6 for me. Then kind of moving around the pitch, his good pal Robbie Brady I'm going to give him a 7.5. I thought next to Malumbi he was the one looking for the ball the most, wanted to make things happen and tried to make things happen. Unfortunate maybe not to get an assist a couple of times, but yeah, you can see how crucial Robbie Brady is and his technical ability, what he brings to the team that we probably haven't had and don't have too much when he's out of the team. Someone who can carry the ball up forward and get on it, and also is really good on the ball. So I give Brady a 7. Shane Long up top, thought he done what you'd expect him to do. He chased down balls but wasn't given a lot of good service, so I'm going to give him a 6. I thought, look, he done well with what he could, but unfortunately he couldn't get a goal, or he couldn't get into the final thirds, that final ball to find him. So it's not really his fault that he gets the 6, but look, I thought he did what he could effectively and well, but if you're a striker you need to score goals as well, so that's the only reason he's getting a 6. Then for me, McLean gets a 5 because of the sending off. It was largely ineffective, didn't do a whole lot when I was watching him. Still fails to beat the first man on a lot of his crosses. Not all of them, but just a lot of them. I just want more from my winger, and you tend to think if Aaron Connolly was out there, would we be sitting here talking about 2 better results? Or has James lost a yard? Maybe, judging by that second yellow, you would think that he might have lost a yard, because there was no real need to go for that ball. I think he'd won the foul and then goes and catches Ampadu, who he had a run in with already after he made the foul down in the corner flag for the first yellow. So yeah, James gets a 5 for me. Cyrus, I'm going to give Cyrus I'll give Cyrus a 6.5. Thought he done well when he came on. He was good on the ball, got good crosses in, helped out with the attack, and was decent in defence. So 6.5. Daryl Horgan, 6.5 as well. Thought he actually done well when he came on. Looks to create chances, got a couple of chances himself, and may feature against Finland. I'd say he probably will. Sean Maguire, I'll give a 6 to. Didn't do a whole lot, didn't have a lot of service like Shane Long though as well, so that's why I give him that. I'm not going to give Josh Cullen a rating because he wasn't on the pitch that long. It was nothing to do with his performance. So let me know your thoughts on the player ratings in the comments, and yeah, check out Gary's 3 talking points and his after match reaction as well. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you all soon. Take care.